was a bit abrupt. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to just cut off like that. But I guess we'll make this a part two for the my opinion in regards to king pull rods for survival. So I guess let me just go ahead and retouch on some of the bases. They're lightweight. Uh, they can fish anything usually on average from about 6 to 10 pounds. I'm gonna say, right off the bat. Um, two examples that I have are the you know my oldest one being the Shakespeare Durango pan fish pole, 10 footer, and then I have my newest one, which is the B&M Black Widow, 13 footer. Now, as far as portability goes, I'm gonna have to leave that one up to you guys because I'll give you an example here. These two pretty much stand at a similar height, but this is the 13-foot one right here. So this is just a little over, I want to say about a yardstick, if not maybe an inch or two more. Or maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it could be an inch or two less, but about a yardstick's length. So for some people, especially the guys that like to travel really, really ultralight, um, the size of it might be considered cumbersome. If you have a very strict SAWC or what Nut and Fancy calls size and weight constraint. Um, as far as the weight goes, it will meet the mark. The size, though, that is the only part where that's a little bit debatable. I mean, you'd have to talk to Nut and Fancy about that one. I couldn't tell you too much on that. So, for the other one I was talking about as well earlier, here it is. So, this is the K-Bar, hand fishing rig. And basically, I just have this is a quarter-ounce drop shot, yep, quarter-ounce drop shot weight on it. The idea here would be I would just go a little bit past there, you know, tie a little knot right there so that I can slip a hook through this loop here, drop it in, hopefully I'd catch something. There's no reel or anything like that, so you gotta hand wind everything yourself. The cool thing about this thing though is because you can make something like this yourself. You don't have to buy this, but it does come with this nice little cap here, so that if you flip it back on, it keeps the line in place. I have not had a chance to use this yet, so again, this would be hand reeling. So got a little bit on the handle there. Yeah, pretty much I'd be doing this to retrieve my hook and line. When I'm done for the day, you know, got that on there. It's on there pretty tight. And then what I like to do is I like to take the weight, push it back through there, and then it just goes back into the bag. Only problem with this though is you're very limited to the style of fishing that you can do. Um, I mean, you can probably try and throw a jig head on there and go that route. I don't see how you're going to be able to jig the lure properly. So I do think that as far as lure fishing goes, this is out of the question. Which the pull rod gives you that option. With the pull rods, you can go with a much smaller jig head, like a 1/64 or 1/32, um, and then put something on that and just flail it about. Another thing I've thought of too is doing kind of like a Carolina rig sort of thing. I'll show you guys these right here. I got some of these. They're meant for well, as I've been told, these are for ocean fishing. But some of these hooks with these feathers, these quote unquote flies, feather flies. Have something like that. Maybe about 2 feet, 2.5 feet of line, or put a little sinker or little shot, those little drop shot sinker, not a drop shot, but the little round shot ones, and you know you can probably play with that using one of these pull rods. But you can definitely use a small jig head. I think I got something here to show you guys. Could if you had a small one, you could even probably run something like this. It's a chatterbait. Now this is a 1/4 ounce one, or but if they have like 1/32. I think they have 1/8 of these. You could probably get away with running something like that on a pull rod. I can't imagine doing something like this with the K-bar setup. The K-bar setup is really seriously just super basic, bitch. You know, throw in a line with some bait and hope for the best of luck kind of situation. But it meets the size and weight constraints for some people regarding their survival situation probably a lot better than a cane pole rod. But still, now, again, I'll go over why I think the cane pole rod is probably one of the better options against lightweight. You have more options in style and the ways you can fish with it. Um, you can probably catch something bigger with it because I can't imagine, you know, maybe a 2 pound fish, 3 pound fish, yeah, you'll have no problem pulling this up. If you have gloves, should be easy. What if you don't have gloves, and what if you have a 10 pounder or a 15 pounder, something big? I don't have the line in here to hold something, anything bigger than 10 pounds, but that does get you thinking. You know, that's gonna hurt having to reel that back by hand, and especially if you've let the fish take off with a lot of line. And I do have a lot of line on this, so it could quite frankly just take off with a bunch of line if it wants to, and it could be a pain, literally, to get it back. So that is one advantage I give to the cane pull rod over the K bar. Let's see what else. They're very easy to use. It's a very simple setup. The only real thing you got to learn is you got to learn to tie that knot. At the tip. Again, here on this one, fortunately, it has a. Let me see. Bring it up to my chest here so you can see it better here. A yellow tip right there, so that gives you a better idea of how much you have to wrap around and then tie to the eyelet. That way, you got a better balance for grabbing. And yes, I already just when the camera cut off, I just cut off all the old line. The old line had developed so much memory; it was just like a little rectangle. So I'm not going to get any much use out of that. But I am going to reline this one here. My kid has been watching River Monsters, and he wants to learn to fish a little more now than before. So I want to show him different options for fishing. I don't know if he's really serious about it. He could just be hyped up over the show. So I figured I'm gonna let him use the 10 footer. Probably next weekend we're gonna go out fishing. I'll let him use the 10 footer. If he likes it, then I'll buy him a better one. Obviously, I'll get one of these Black Widows. I know there's like 2 or 3 different types of cane pole rods just from that brand, Black Widow. Um, I know this one with like gold letterings and accents that I want to avoid because it's specifically a crappie rod, and that's a smaller fish, so that'll be a much lighter weight. But I'm gonna keep it at 10 feet for him. I'll be cool with this 13 footer. I would like to get a 20 footer, to be honest with you. That would be specifically to take it out to the ocean, you know, to go fuck with that and check out what I can catch with it. But aside from that, that 20 footer, I would not use it for survival. Again, there are bigger versions of these. I wouldn't want to go too big, specifically because, well, you could have tree lines, especially if you're fishing, within fresh water, that you're going to have to be careful about and consider, while you're out fishing. And if your rod's 16, 18, 20, 25 feet, yeah, that could become a serious problem for you. So, um, that's my opinion. I do believe the cane pole rods are a great option for a survival or backup or marine backup rod, emergency rod. They're cheap. And I got this one in clearance for $4. The Black Widows are $10 for the 13 footers. You can get one. You can get it for $8, a 7 or 10 footer, and it comes with everything you pretty much need. Just throw it in your trunk. You ever stuck somewhere and there's like a little water hole nearby where you can just go kill some time at? You're actually out and about camping and your car won't start anymore and you didn't bring enough food for yourself or whoever you're with. Um, it's a good option, an affordable option, and it's not as complicated as dealing with something with a reel. That is a for sure thing. And again, the accessories are very minimal. So again, your accessories comes Black Widow comes with it. Your float, your sinker, your line, your hook. That's basic essentials. All you would really have to do, guys, is again carry a line from Walmart. Again, this is about $1 change. It's 100 yards. Okay, a 10 footer. All right, that's about 10 times worth of use out of it. Whenever you have to replace it. So obviously with a 13 footer, it'll be a lot less, or not a lot less. Maybe only like 8 times, 7 times you'll be able to actually go from tipped out. A little pack of hooks is going to cost you between $1 and change to $4. Shot sinkers are less than $1 at Walmart. The floats. Now this float that this one comes with is pretty small. At Walmart, they have some similar floats like this, and they are also foam with a tube on it. You can usually get those a 3-pack for about $1 and change. Uh, this is the old one that I was using for the Wonder Pole. Now this is a little bit more of a fancy-ish setup. There's my sinker right here. There's the line. The hook was at the bottom. Now this one here actually has a rubber stopper here at the top, so that what I could do is basically move this stopper up and down, and I can control the depth of how deep the line can go. And you could buy a pack of these little rubber pieces for $1 and change, $2 and change at most fishing shops. Sometimes you can see them at Walmart here. This is what it looks like. It has a little round circular pack. Hold on a second there. It's a little round circular pack, and then it has those little rubber pieces in there. They're kind of in a loop. There's like a little metal loop. What you do is you put your line through one of the loops. You pull, you fold the line back. You hold both ends of the line together, and you pull, and then it pretty much brings in the rubber stopper. And then this will just stop whenever it's reached its depth. And I can control the depth by moving the rubber stopper wherever I need it to go. So I want to move it there in the middle. Now, I'm going to go up more to the middle. Just move it all the way up to the top. I can just move it up all the way to the top. Yep. So that's it, guys. As far as for the topic of this video goes, thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe. You guys have yourselves a great day.